Okay, guys, bear with me. Let's do this exercise together. Close your eyes, okay, and picture this. You are at brunch with the girls or with the guys or whoever you have brunch with. It really doesn't matter. But you are at brunch and you're at one of those bougie restaurants. You know, the ones where, like, I don't know, the carpet matches the curtains or something like that. Or there is the fancy cutlery that is shiny and polished, and everyone is just having a good time. You know, the mimosas are flowing, the food looks and tastes amazing. It's not those restaurants, you know, the ones where the influencers hype all the time, and then when you get there, you're fully disappointed. Nah, it's not that. All right. So think of your favorite restaurant. That's where you are. Okay. The vibes are immaculate. Everyone is having a good time. There is laughter. It just looks like there is so much joy at your table. And then out of nowhere, the waiter comes and drops the bill. Boom. Here's the bill. And suddenly the vibe just shifts. We all have those math genius friends that start pulling out their calculators and they start, okay, so if we add the tip and we divide by the number of people or whatever it is, and well, okay, cool, you're paying this, and you know, we have those calculator math genius friends whenever we go out. We also have the friends that stare really hard at their phones and pretend they didn't notice anything was going on. Yeah, the thing is, we see you guys, okay, and then there's that one person that goes, "Ours, should we just like split it evenly?" And now you look around the table and you can clearly see it's very visible on everyone's face that they are rethinking the two sides that they ordered, or they're regretting saying yes to that dessert at the end. Does that sound familiar to you guys? Yeah, I thought so. And that's where we're going in today's episode. Guys, girls, welcome to another episode of This May Be Nothing. And just like that, it is Saturday. It is another episode. And not just that, it is also spring. Happy spring, guys. The sun is out. The weather is nice. You know, the people are outside. It's just absolutely amazing. It is also the first Saturday of September. So, yay to that. Guys, what a time. I enjoyed the cold and it had its moment, and that was cool and that was great. But now we get to wear shorts to bed. I don't think you understand how happy I am to not have to fight with my pajamas and figure out how I'm going to get warm inside the blankets. However, now I have to figure out how I'm going to cool myself down because it is hot. And I just looked down at my arm and I noticed my first mosquito bite. And I don't know whether to celebrate that or to brace myself for what is about to come. But guys, it is spring. Spring has sprung and I am absolutely loving it. You are probably sitting there and thinking, Dana, how can you be so joyful when you missed last week? You didn't even give us an episode. I know, and I am sorry. Okay. But last week I was crashing out. It was not my week last week. And let me tell you something. I said to myself, I'm going to give myself grace because, wow, there's no worse feeling than wanting to produce something and like just not being in the mood to do it. Like, yeah, last week was a hard week. Things weren't going the way I expected them to, and so I had a crash out. Okay, and I said, let me give myself grace. I'm just gonna take some time. I'm gonna gather my thoughts, gather my feelings, and I'm going to come back next week. And here we are, episode 12 of This May Be Nothing, the podcast where we spiral, we reflect, we double back, and we somehow land on something that makes emotional sense. How we get there, I do not know, but I'm glad that we do. And have I said that line many times before? Yes, I have. And I'm still going to say it. Like, I'm going to continue saying that line until something else comes up. So actually, maybe, I don't know, maybe you guys can give me like an idea of a one-liner or something that is funny to say. But anyways, guys, if we have not met before, my name is Diana, your favorite soft life strategist, your occasional ghost star of group chats, professional brunch enthusiast, and part-time curator of memes that I swear that I'll send, but I always forget to. But you know what? We are learning. We are growing as well. And at some point, I will just send everything all at once. But, anyways, that's besides the point. Guys, today's episode, I even need to take a sip of my drink. Mm, mm. Today's episode, friends that split the bill. Because let me tell you something, I don't think this is a conversation that is had a lot. I think for many people, there's this unspoken expectation. There are feelings around it, and like, which I don't know. I haven't spoken about it with other people too much or too often. Even like when I look at my friendship group, we kind of just know what to do and we do the thing, and nobody feels awkward unless they do and I don't know about it. Then maybe I should have this conversation with my friendship group. But it'd be awkward if they hear this podcast first and then they come to me and they're like, "Oh, so these were your feelings." But yeah, guys, friends that split the bill, because listen, nothing exposes friendships nothing exposes friendships because nothing exposes friendship dynamics quite like the bill landing on the table, and now you kind of all look at each other like, "Oh, what are we doing?" And whether it is brunch, it is dinner, or a random coffee run, how we split or don't split the bill says more about us, our expectations, and our values than we'd like to admit. So, this episode, we're going to dive into it. We're going to talk about fairness. We're going to talk about the awkwardness that comes with it, generosity, the quiet resentment that is there and has been built, maybe even over time, but nobody actually talks about it. And we're definitely going to talk about the human dance between money and friendships. Because if you're sitting there and you thought, "Ooh, conversations about money is just between me and my boo," oh, you're wrong. Let me tell you something, you're wrong, because money also shows up in friendships. So, guys, let's dive into it. No matter where you go, whether it is a fancy dinner, a casual cafe, or your local sushi spot that's like around the corner from your house, the thing is, the bill will always come. The bill will always arrive. And it's never just about the numbers that is on that little piece of paper, right? It's about what do we do next? Who grabs it first? Who suddenly remembers that, "Oh, hold on, I forgot my wallet." And And I have never been in that position, but I have heard some stories. And you know what, guys, as a society, we need to do better. It's about who insists on splitting it down to the cent, who waves it away with "Don't worry, I've got it this time." And honestly, bless you. Okay, we appreciate you. But also we'll chat about you just now, you know? It's a moment where friendship meets finance and where unspoken rules suddenly become extremely loud. And the way I see it, there are two camps in this category of friendship and money and splitting bills and all of that, right? There's the group where these people just love simplicity, just split it down the middle evenly, no calculators, no fuss, no drama. All of us, it's happy, we can move on with our life, right? But here's the catch. What if you're the only one that just ordered a salad? And then there's somebody else at the table that ordered the steak and the 3 cocktails. Like, splitting it evenly can feel fair in theory, but in practice, it can sting a little bit. And that sting can last for some time, even. Especially if you're the person who's watching your budget while your friends are ordering the "life is short, let's indulge" special. No ways. Sometimes equality isn't the same as fairness, and that tension sits quietly under the laughter at the table, and it's awkward. Then there's the other camp, and I find myself and my friendship group in this camp most of the time. The itemizers. These are the people who whip out their phones and open the calculators and say, "Okay, you had the burger with the extra cheese, and I had the pasta without the sides, and this is how we're going to split it. And don't forget to add the tip, and that's your share and your share. And when we add it all up, boom, there's the total." And listen, sometimes that's exactly what makes sense. Okay. It protects the person who orders less, it prevents the one friend from always covering that extra cost. And there is usually that one person that is like, no, it's fine, guys, I'll pay the difference or whatever. And shame, man. Like, peace and love. But it also can kill the vibe because now the table feels like suddenly the table feels less like a gathering and more like an audit. So, what do we do with that? Do we value accuracy or do we value atmosphere? That's a question that I'm asking you guys, and I want you guys to think about it. Here's the truth, right? Money reveals things that we often don't want to say out loud. That friend who always forgets to pay you back, resentment builds. And I'm not saying that I have resentment, but if you are listening to this and you know that you owed me money, I'm just saying it would be nice if you could pay me back. You know what I mean? Um, that friend who insists on covering everything, like love you, bless you, but also guilt creeps in. That friend who orders big, then goes quiet when the bill comes. Yeah, we notice you. We may never call it out directly, but there's a feeling, and that feeling stays. Sometimes friendships don't break over betrayal, but they crack over repeated small moments at the dinner table. Speaking of the friend that wants to cover everything, a couple weeks ago, I went to like a really quick, like a birthday light dinner, if you would. Um, and it was like a surprise. She didn't know that, hey, we're planning this thing. And my other friend put like balloons on the chairs, and then when she walked in, she kind of saw, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, my friends love me." Um, and yeah, the night was like what I described earlier. You know, vibes. I mean, the mimosas were not flowing, but there were drinks there, and we were chatting, and and then at some point we kind of all looked at each other and we're like, "Oh yeah, no, yo, it's late. We need to go home." "Excuse me, sir, can we please have the bill?" And the waiter comes and he's like, "Oh no, the bill was already covered." And I was like, we all kind of looked at each other. We're like, "By who?" And he goes, "No, by the birthday girl." And like we were so irritated, but at the same time we're just like, it really is such a her thing to do, but also we were trying to spoil you, okay? Why did you do that? Like, we love you, but also don't do that again. And we had a laugh about it, and it was great. On the flip side of all of this, right? The generosity can be beautiful, and we love it. Like, bless you, clock it, whatever these young people say now. The friend who the friend who says, "I've got it," the friend who says, "I've got you this time," or the friend who doesn't make a big deal about covering the dessert or the tip, the friend who understands that not everyone around the table has the same budget and even creates space for that. Generosity turns the bill into less of a test and more of a gesture, because sometimes the bill isn't about money, it's about care. And I find that my friends and I, we do this a lot. Not to say that my friends are perfect and awesome in every which way, but they are really perfect and awesome in every way. When we don't get paid on the same day, and so like this one would be paid a week early, and then that one is like a week late, and then that one is a couple days later, and so forth. And so what we tend to do if we know that the person who gets paid last, like, yo, it's Mampara week for you, like, we've got you, don't worry. So that when they get paid, chances are like we've already blown the going out budget, and yeah, they will cover the drinks. And it's funny because it's just like how we've operated for some time, and it's not awkward. You know what I mean? It really is not awkward. Here is what adulthood forces us to face. Money will show up in friendships. Okay? It's not just a conversation that you have with your boo. All right? We're having this conversation in our friendship group right now. Whether it is splitting dinner, chipping in for a gift, planning a trip together, or covering somebody else's Uber, like, the real test isn't the bill itself, it's how we talk about it. Do we make space for honesty, or do we assume everyone has the same financial capacity? Do we give grace when someone says, I actually can't afford to do that or go there right now. Friendships that survive the bill are friendships that allow for awkwardness, allow for awkward friendships that survive the bill are friendships that allow for awkward but necessary conversations. Here's something that I've learned. How we handle the bill says something bigger, like I said earlier on, right? It's not about who pays what. It's about whether we value fairness, generosity, honesty, and care. So maybe gratitude is the antidote to the awkwardness. And here's a little story time. A couple years ago, I was down bad, okay? Finances were not great. COVID happened. The job was falling apart. Like, it wasn't the best time for me financially. And what result the result of that was that I started distancing myself from my friends. They wanted to go out, I couldn't afford it, and I didn't really want to talk about it because yeah, it was a little bit embarrassing. And I remember having a conversation with my sister, and the one thing she told me, which I now hold to very dearly, is that if you are honest about your financial situation with your friends, and your friends want to see you at the dinner or at the holiday or whatnot, if they want to see you, they will chip in. If anything, I found that when I was honest with my friends and I did tell them, like, hey guys, I actually can't do the dinner, I received a lot more respect than I thought I would. The conversations were a little bit awkward, yes, on my end, because I'm like, I know you guys want to do this. And the last thing that I want to be is an inconvenience to somebody else. But I was met with responses like, if you can get yourself there, then we'll cover your dinner. Don't worry. And that was kind of just the norm. It slowly became the norm. Honesty about money and where we are financially. Because truth be told, I am a last born, right? My financial standing is very different to one of my best friend who is a firstborn, and I know that she takes care of her siblings and so forth. And so, yeah, conversations about money shouldn't be super awkward. They just have to be honest. So, thank you to the friend who paid when I couldn't. Thank you to the friend who didn't judge me for ordering the cheapest thing on the menu because that's all I could afford. Thank you to the friend who said, don't worry about it, just come. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the perfect math, it's about friendships surviving the bill. So, yeah, I want to hear from you. Are you the split it evenly type of person, or do you prefer to itemize like myself? Because I'm going to be honest, I am not about to pay for your 400 Rand meal while I got like 150 Rand. Oh. Have you ever felt resentment at the table when the bill arrived? Or how do you and your friends navigate money without ruining the vibe? Send me a DM, send a voice note, share a story. Guys, you can comment down below on this episode. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can comment. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, I think you can comment as well. Yeah, follow me on the socials, Instagram, because TikTok is coming. Don't worry. But I want to hear your stories. Let's talk about the friendships that split the bill and what really let's talk about the friends that split the bill and what that really means about us. So yeah, guys, this may be nothing, but maybe the truth about splitting the bill is this. It's never about the money. It's about fairness, generosity, and the tiny negotiations that hold friendships together. And whether we split it evenly, calculate precisely, or take turns, what matters is that friendships last longer than the receipt. So guys, I loved this conversation, and I think we should be having more of this conversation. Is there an expectation that you do not know that your friends have? I hope that, yeah, you listening to this has sparked a conversation that you want to have with your friends and your family and I don't know, your spouse, your person, whoever you have meals with. But guys, I will catch you on the same mic, same spiral, same small rebellion next week.